Lakers and Clippers, the debuts of so many. Here's LeBron James, perhaps you've heard of him. Anthony Davis making his debut as a Laker. And Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers, making a little speech to the crowd before the game.
Welcome, Clipper fans, to the game tonight. It's going to be a great season. We're going to work hard every night, and let's get it going.
And you can hear he's almost drowned out by the boos, and it's theoretically a home game. We'll talk about that. But then, Richard Jefferson, here's what we want to see. Kawhi and LeBron one-on-one.
Look at this. Listen to the crowd. The crowd erupted. This is what everybody's been waiting for, the Battle of L.A., LeBron James versus Kawhi.
The Lakers up by 9 early. Then there's Anthony Davis getting work done. He would finish with 25 points, 10 boards, 5 assists, and the Lakers at a 3-point lead after 1. Now, Kawhi in the second quarter taking over. Does this shot remind you of the one that knocked Philly out of the playoffs?
Oh, it does. And look, you see Bron coming over to help. That's great contest. That is an unguardable shot.
He had it going all night long from all over the floor. Watch a great cut to the basket.
Yeah, you're trying to deny him. You don't want him to have the ball, but that's weak side defense. And you think with Anthony Davis being there, but he didn't want to come over late. He didn't want any of that smoke.
Kawhi, 16 points in the second quarter alone. Clippers had an 8-point halftime lead. Third quarter, off a Clipper miss. We're going the other way. And watch LeBron James throwing it down.
Oh, God. Again, when we talk about wanting smoke, Lou Will was like, now look at his face, like, nah, not today.
He didn't want that. And then now we're going the other way. Landry Shamit's got a problem.
Uh-oh. Bron wanted that smoke. That was the problem. Bron knows how to pick and choose who he wants to go after. And
not just once, but twice. Look at him draw the charge as they stay with the play.
And you don't see charges. You don't see track down blocks game 1 of the season. This game meant something to both teams.
Playoff-like atmosphere, I totally agree. Now, another new name in a new place is Danny Green, and he could shoot it from anywhere.
Most points ever in a Laker debut. It was so impressive. Danny Green was probably the biggest surprise of the entire night.
You see him here hitting 3 threes from all over the floor. Lakers have 15-0 run. They take a 3-point lead. Good game. Fourth quarter, under 11 minutes to go. Clippers have a 4-point edge. Dwight Howard is going up, and Kawhi Leonard has other ideas.
Well, and this is where the sides would come in. Dwight Howard normally can do that, but the Claw doing what the Claw does. Very sneaky from behind. Sorry, Dwight.
You know who's fired up? Steve Ballmer. Look at Ballmer. He ripped the whole...
Is that Van Gundy down there? Wait, is that Van Gundy below him?
I don't think so.
What is Van Gundy doing on the floor? What is he doing on the floor?
Under 4 minutes to play, Clippers are up 8. Kawhi Leonard. Oh, look at the moves. They're unstoppable. He would score 30. The Clipper bench would score 60. And the Clippers take game 1 by 10 in a classic.
A lot of emotions, game 1, but I'm just happy we came out and got a victory. We played a great practice the last week. Everybody competing, pushing everybody's limits, and we had some carryover tonight.
Coach, can you just talk about Kawhi's overall debut tonight?
I think you should, you know. No, he was good. He was absolutely wonderful.
It's the first game. You know, obviously it's the NBA is back, and that's what everybody's trying to have the narrative of a rivalry game, and is a huge test. I think both teams are not who they want to be. We have a lot of room to improve. We're a new group that's coming together. We have a new coaching staff. We have a new system. And it's not a rivalry. We're trying to get better every single day.
All right, so it was a good one. And here's a stat. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Over the last 10 years, no team has had a better record against the Lakers than the Clippers, who with last night's win have now won over 72% of their games against the purple and gold. And so I feel like there's so many different places to go with this. But generally speaking, let's just start with impressions that we see coming out of last night. These two remade teams in a game that did have a playoff atmosphere.
Yeah, like to me, I watched the Lakers, I watched the Clippers, and you watch kind of everything that everybody has been talking about all year. Who's got more depth? Who's got more star power? And look, the Lakers had a lot of star power. They got some unexpected contributions from Danny Green going for 28. But the Clippers were a better team. They had better depth, and you could see it all night long.
Now, the one thing that I mentioned in the open is that maybe the most important part of what we saw last night happened in the stands. And I want to explain what I mean. This was a Clipper home game, technically. Of course, these teams share an arena. Yeah. This was technically a Clipper home game. But it was an overwhelmingly Laker crowd, which suggests to me that if these teams meet in the playoffs, it will be 7 home games for the Lakers.
It will be 7 home games for the Lakers, but it's still it's a different vibe. It's a different atmosphere. The Lakers, like you heard Kawhi come out there and say, I'd like to I thank you, Mike, for coming, the Clipper fan. That was awesome. They're not going to have look, the Clippers are going to have their fan base, but when it's Lakers, Clippers, it's always going to be more Laker fans.
And they played without Paul George last night as well, so they're going to get better.
Yeah.
The Lakers, LeBron was making it sound afterwards, and reasonably so, like, look, we need some time to gel. We're all just figuring each other out. Is that an accurate way of looking at it?
It's true. Look, the Clippers were missing their second best player in Paul George, one of the top 10 players in the league, and the Lakers were missing their third best player in Kyle Kuzma. So there's a lot of points being missed on both sides, but you can still see that the Lakers can't afford any injuries, where the Clippers have some depth, where, look, they played great without Paul George, and they had a lot of contributions from a lot of people on their bench. Their bench was like plus 40 versus combined, all the guys, and the Lakers bench was minus 50.
I mean, the Clippers are so much deeper. It's 1 of 82. But, boy, it felt like it meant a little something last night. We'll have much more on that, plus the other opener as we continue. But now,
game. We can look at the greatness of Kawhi Leonard. We can look at Montrezl Harrell. We can look at Lou Williams coming off the bench for the Clippers. Their energy, their tenacity, defensively especially, and say, you know something? They really shut the Lakers down. Here's what I appeal from it. LeBron James, I don't know whether it was age or rust, but something did not look right. And in the case of Anthony Davis, clearly a finesse player, an elite talent, but a finesse player. Obviously, on most nights, the Los Angeles Lakers will beat most opponents. But we're anticipating that the Clippers will be waiting for them. And right now, I don't know if that's something the Lakers want after what we saw last night.
You said early in the game something, you said, wait a minute, LeBron doesn't look like LeBron. And I was like, okay, wait a minute, Steven. We got about 35 more minutes in this game. And you still turned out to be right. But you know what I think it was? That defense, and we were hearing Doc Rivers talk about this pregame. The Clippers, think they're going to be able to play some of the best defense, not in the league this year, but in the league for many years. And I know I don't want to jump to great conclusions after one game, but Steven, it looked like it. I mean, to have AD and LeBron being 15 for 40, I mean, that's not what we're accustomed to seeing. And it looked like they were just walled off at times.
Exactly. You're giving the ball to AD at every turn. The offense completely predictable. No pick and rolls. Vogel's got to work on some things. So does Anthony Davis, but especially LeBron James. I know he didn't play much in the preseason, but damn, we didn't expect to see that after one game. Hopefully, better times are ahead, Mike Wilbon. I'm assuming that's the case.
The Clippers must feel pretty good tonight, don't they? After that?
Wouldn't
After
you?
that showing, I would.
I know I would. Back to y'all.
We'll see if more teams can feel really good out of the gate. Tonight on ESPN, our first NBA doubleheader of the season, 7:30. Joel Embiid.
7 season opening games, the longest active streak in the NBA. The Trailblazers are second, having won 5 straight. Rip City.
All right, first battle of LA. Let's get it on. LeBron James, 112-102 Clippers.
Kawhi, not a bad debut. 30 points in your first official win as a Clipper. What was it like just to see the fans stand on their feet and experience this with your new teammates?
It was great. You know, a lot of emotions, game one. But I'm just happy we came out and got a victory. We played a great practice the last week. Everybody competing, pushing everybody's limits, and we had some carryover tonight.
You don't always show your emotion, but what were some of those emotions that you were feeling leading up to this game?
I mean, like I said before, once I'm playing the game, I'm locked in. So I'm thinking about the next play. But before the game last night, it's a lot of emotions knowing that my family's going to be here tonight. And I'm just back here.
And some of the best runs of the game were when you were resting on the bench. What do you think about the depth of this team and the potential?
I mean, you see what they did last year. They was an 8 seed, 7 seed playoff team. These guys fight. They fight hard every single night. And, you know, just because I'm here or Paul's here, we're not going to stop. But we're missing a couple more pieces. Rodney's out still. Great defender, great spacer for us. So he'll be great once we all come on board.
So Leonard with 30 points in his first game as Clipper. You see where that ranks. Billy Knight, Dominique Wilkins, Phil Smith, and Sam Cassell, the only players who top him in their Clippers debut. Most importantly, though, they get the W in the battle for LA. Everybody was at the game, including Michael Wilbon, who joins us now on SportsCenter. So, Mike, the Clippers make the big splash with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and it's the bench that helps see them through once again, just like they did last year.
I mean, it really did. It just looks like wherever Kawhi Leonard goes, he can just apply that formula, doesn't it? I mean, defensively, they were just clearly better than the Lakers were, holding LeBron and Anthony Davis to, 15 for 40 shooting. And they just never seemed to be able to get in the rhythm because that defense was always being applied to them. And if it meant doing that when both Anthony Davis and LeBron James were on the floor, the Clippers were able to do that. You mentioned Paul George. Of course, he did not play. He was in a tuxedo, looked great, but not in uniform. And so if you're a Clipper fan tonight, you're thinking, wow, what happens when we get Paul George in this lineup? If you think we were good defensively without him, what happens when we have him? And they're going to be better defensively. They're going to be better offensively. They're going to be better in all ways, the Clippers. This has got to be a pretty triumphant evening for the Clippers. I mean, they were sort of underdogs in their own home game, if you will, Stan. Everybody here, and you know this, you live here. I mean, I'd say 60% of the people, if not more, were cheering for the Lakers.
Yeah.
It did not sound like a Clipper home game, but it had to feel like a triumphant night for a team also still feeling its way with its new star to have their way with the Lakers.
All right, so they get a solid all-around game from LeBron James, good scoring night from Anthony Davis, and 28 from Danny Green, but still not enough. And I think that's going to be the question with the Lakers. Do they have enough surrounding their star players? What was your impression of that?
Well, I mean, you would think there'll be more, but Danny Green, of course, had one of his most prolific offensive games of his career. Danny Green really kept them